Another thing we can do is add colored backgrounds to add behind our title instead of the footage. To do this, we go to File, New, and then Color Matte. In Color Matte, we want it the same as our comp size and the same time base and the same aspect ratio. So let's go to OK. Then we have this option for choosing our color. So right now our text is white, so let's choose something that will look good as a background for white. And since our theme is fall, let's keep it towards yellows and oranges and off greens. So what we can do is maybe something like that. Choose name for a new matte. We'll call it orange. And then that'll be placed inside our titles folder, which is good for organization. We'll bring this down to here, just below. Let's zoom in a little bit and we'll trim it to our new spot here. And we will trim it so it matches the length of our title. Now let's go to the beginning of our timeline and hit play. Great, okay, so that looks a little cheesy and there's not much to it, but you get the idea. You can add different colors behind text. Another thing you could do is go to crop, and you can apply a crop onto the color matte by clicking and dragging it down and letting go. Now with this selected, you can see that the crop has been added inside the effect controls panel. And now if we go to the top part, click and drag the percentage to roughly, let's say there, and then feather the edge, which will be this edge, to there, and then further adjust the top. And then if we do the same thing to the bottom, we can start to get a really cool effect going that just shows this. Now if we wanted, we could go to the right side again and the left side and almost make just a little bit of a background for the text. If we don't like the left and right happening, we can reset those so it's more of just a banner. If we want to have a less feather, we can do that as well. And you can get some really cool effects by simply just adding a crop to a color matte and by feathering it just a little bit. You can also animate all of these with the keyframe. So for example, if we wanted the beginning to be a full frame shot, meaning the entire frame is filled with orange, what we can do is go to the top and the bottom and make those back to 0. And because we've clicked the stopwatch and we're at the beginning we now have 2 keyframes, one for the top, one for the bottom. You can see it here on the sides. And then if we go over to, let's say, 1.5 seconds, which is 1 second, 12 frames, we can create 2 more keyframes. Or if we undo both of those, we can click and drag and it'll automatically create a keyframe when we start to drag. Now let's do it the first way, so let's undo that. We'll click 2 keyframes, and then on those keyframes you can see that we are on the keyframes because that is blue. If we were off of it, they wouldn't be blue. Okay, so the color may be different in your version, but when the keyframes are highlighted or when you're on it, they will show up like this, and if you're not, they'll be blank. So let's make sure we're on that, and then we can adjust this back to where we liked it. The only difference is now we have a keyframe at 1 second and 12 frames for the top and another one for the bottom. And then at the very beginning, we have another 2 keyframes that are set to 0. So over time, this will animate from 0 to these percentages, which are, let's make sure we're on our keyframe, which are 72 and 12.